This is the funeral of a billionaire, yet his children show no trace of sorrow on their faces. Instead, they complain about the old man not picking better weather. The eldest son pours out his father's ashes when suddenly a roaring sound shakes all the ashes down. It turns out to be his grandson Jason arriving for the funeral, followed by a group of fair-weather friends. His mother scolds him for being late, but he couldn't care less. After the funeral, the children gather together gleefully, each bringing their own team of lawyers, ready to divide up the enormous fortune the old man left behind. Unexpectedly, when the lawyer reads the will, he announces that none of them are entitled to inherit a single penny. The eldest son explodes on the spot upon hearing this news, while the second daughter storms out in anger. Grandson Jason never expected to inherit anything anyway, since his father died young. Rumor has it his grandfather was responsible. So the relationship between grandfather and grandson had never been good. Seeing everyone leave, he also gets up to go, but the lawyer stops him, saying his grandfather specifically left him a videotape. Jason sits down impatiently, even putting his feet up on the table. In the videotape, grandfather slowly begins to speak, admitting his past mistakes. He acknowledges mishandling family matters and says the person he wronged most was Jason. To make up for this debt, grandfather says he wants to give him an ultimate gift. Actually 6 gifts, each more special than the last. However, before receiving the gifts, Jason must complete a series of tasks without giving up. If he quits, he'll get nothing. The butler then hands Jason a plane ticket, telling him he needs to fly to Houston tomorrow. Hearing he still has to complete tasks, Jason leaves without looking back. After returning home, Jason tells his girlfriend about this. She immediately perks up and strongly urges him to go, saying he might get a huge sum of money. Jason reconsiders. After all, who would complain about having too much money? So early the next morning, he heads to the airport. Following instructions, after getting off the plane, he finds his grandfather's old friend waiting at the airport. The friend picks him up and takes him directly to a farm. The next day, Jason can't drag himself out of bed. Seeing this, the old friend has no choice but to reluctantly urge him on. He brings Jason to the farm and tells him to pound fence posts. After the friend drives away, Jason initially chooses to slack off and refuses to work. The friend doesn't force him, just reliably brings him there at the same time every day. Jason finally understands this is his grandfather's test. If he doesn't complete it seriously, he won't be able to leave. He starts attempting to pound the posts, but they all come out crooked. Seeing this, the friend simply uses his truck to haul away these substandard posts and makes him start over. Gradually, Jason's posts become straight and neat, stretching endlessly into the distance. After the task ends, the friend drives him to the airport and advises him, if you could approach everything in life as seriously as you did these fence posts, there's nothing you couldn't accomplish. Jason doesn't understand what this means and hurriedly asks where his gift is, but the friend just smiles without answering. After returning home, Jason feels he's been played and goes to the lawyer demanding an explanation. The lawyer tells him that the farm work he just completed was the first gift from his grandfather. Jason is furious at first, but after calming down, gradually understands the old man's good intentions. He asks the lawyer what the next gift is. The lawyer only says, "You'll know when you get home." Jason drives home, and the sight before him leaves him stunned.
This man hadn't slept in 3 days. His father had been hospitalized unexpectedly, and the convenience store he ran with his dad now fell to him alone. Despite his exhaustion, he still took photos for customers. After taking countless pictures, the man couldn't hold on any longer. He posted a help wanted ad outside the store, and fell asleep. He had no idea trouble was coming. A beautiful woman was walking toward him. This woman was stunning. Everyone was staring at her. The woman walked straight into Bill's store, and woke up the sleeping Bill. Bill saw the woman before him, and was completely mesmerized.
누구세요? 아니, 어서 오세요. 뭐 어떤 거 드릴까요?
저 알바 면접 보러 왔는데요.
Bill snapped back to reality and hurried to grab the interview materials, but he felt uneasy inside. His mind flashed back to an encounter 3 years ago. He remembered this girl. She was the one who'd kissed him back then, but now Gray didn't seem to remember him. Looking at the girl's resume, Bill decided to reject Gray.
이게 밤샘 심야가라서
올빼미입니다.
아무래도 여자분 혼자 있겠네.
싸움 개자랑.
집이 좀 먼 것 같아.
집에 안 들어가도 돼.
편의점 알바는 불합격.
He wanted to refuse but couldn't get the words out. Seeing Gray's expression, Bill had no choice but to agree to let the girl work a 2-hour trial. Gray suggested Bill rest for a bit first, and handed him some herbal tea. Bill refused outright, to eliminate his suspicion. Gray took a sip herself first, then found an excuse to leave. The moment Gray left, Bill drank the tea. After finishing it, he quickly fell asleep. When he woke up, the store was packed with customers. He asked Gray in surprise what had happened. The girl walked over with a smile, asking if she'd passed the test. Bill still didn't agree, saying there were other interviews tomorrow. Gray started acting cute with him. Bill was captivated by Gray. The next day, Gray came to the store. Bill explained the work procedures to Gray. To his surprise, Gray was incredibly skilled. She worked even more efficiently than Bill. Bill felt like he'd struck gold. That evening, Bill arrived at the store. A customer came to break some bills. When Bill opened the register, he found the money was gone. He recalled how during the shift change today, he'd seen Gray holding a lot of cash. A terrifying thought entered Bill's mind. A poor guy falls in love with a rich girl. The first time he meets her parents, he pretends to be a delivery man. He ends up getting humiliated by her mother. His girlfriend stands there, too scared to admit he's her boyfriend. Tom still believes in their relationship. He thinks that with enough effort, he can win over her parents. On their 3-year anniversary, Tom invites his girlfriend Amy to a concert, but Amy doesn't show any excitement, because another man, Mike, has also asked her to the same concert. Mike is a better match for her than Tom. Amy's mother prefers Mike too. Amy can't directly reject Tom. She agrees to Tom's invitation first, then makes up an excuse about work to cancel that evening. Tom is disappointed but tells his girlfriend that work comes first. Going to the concert alone makes him feel incredibly lonely. He has no idea that Amy and Mike are sitting right behind him. The next day, Tom hears there's another show. He buys new tickets and invites Amy again. Since Amy has already seen it once, she shows no interest. Tom thinks the bad seats are making his girlfriend unhappy. After the show, Tom tells Amy he has backstage passes to meet the director. He pulls Amy along for the photo op. Amy knows the director. She's afraid of being caught with Tom, so she covers her face with a mask during the photo. Mike happens to walk by and sees the scene. After taking the photo, Tom wants to continue their date. Amy claims she has a headache and takes off in a taxi. Tom stands there alone, not understanding why their relationship has become like this. In the taxi, Amy looks at the photo, thinking about her mother's contempt for Tom. She feels confused inside. Amy finds Mike to drown her sorrows in alcohol. Tom worries about whether his girlfriend got home safely. He calls but no one answers, because at that moment, Amy and Mike are kissing after drinking. Tom suspects his girlfriend might be influenced by her mother. He works up the courage to formally introduce himself to Amy's mother, hoping she won't interfere in their relationship. This time, Amy's mother surprisingly agrees. After Tom leaves, she secretly investigates his family, learning that Tom's mother works in insurance. She deliberately invites her over to sign a major policy, finding out that Tom's father is unemployed. She has someone offer him a job as the family driver. Amy finally makes her decision. She finds Tom and breaks instant noodles in half, symbolizing the end of their 3-year relationship.
대현 씨한테 어울리는 사람 맞나? 그 사람이 나는 아닌 것 같으니까.
Then she gets in Mike's car and drives away. Tom is already heartbroken. At this point, he learns from a former co-worker that Amy is the daughter of a company shareholder. When he left the company before, it was because Amy had made a mistake. Tom was afraid she'd get fired, so he took the blame himself. He goes to Amy's house again, wanting to hear the truth from her, but he witnesses an even more devastating scene. His own father is humbly carrying luggage for Amy's mother. When Tom's father sees his son, he finally realizes what's happening. He keeps smiling to hide his embarrassment. Tom's mother, hiding in the distance, witnesses all of this. She finally understands why their sudden good fortune happened. Tom's pride is completely crushed at this moment. He leaves in a daze. He goes to the beach alone to clear his head, remembering how he and Amy used to talk about their beautiful future here. Now it all seems so ridiculous. He sits there alone from day until deep into the night. That's when Alice, who has quit her job at the convenience store, approaches him with sparklers.
Jack, as usual, used his superpower to connect bare-handed with high-voltage electricity. Just then, a drone suddenly flew over, followed by several police officers who ordered all the workers to line up for inspection. The police wanted to check if there were any people with superpowers among them, because those with superpowers weren't allowed to work without permission. However, when the drone scanned them, it suddenly detected a wanted criminal. The police immediately handcuffed the man. Just as they were about to take him back to the station, the wanted criminal suddenly activated his superpower. After burning the police officer, the man immediately fled. The drone instantly deployed 2 robot soldiers, and the wanted criminal was shot dead on the spot. Jack felt deeply disappointed because he knew his work for the day was ruined again. Since Jack's sick mother needed expensive medical treatment, he could only continue looking for work on the street. Just then, a red car suddenly stopped. The person inside happened to be a local gang member looking for someone with superpowers. No one wanted to get involved with these gang members, but Jack, desperate for money, got into the car for the $200 payment. They arrived at a chemical plant. Jack's task was to short-circuit the high-voltage power grid. He immediately activated his superpower and resolved the power grid in just a few seconds. Mark instantly realized Jack's capability. They then loaded the chemical agents onto the vehicle and opened the door to leave. However, just then, a security guard suddenly discovered them. Just as he was about to call for help, Mark snatched his walkie-talkie from a distance. The guard was then locked in a trash bin, and they immediately fled the scene. The drone, receiving the alert, immediately began searching for them from the air. Fortunately, Mark had thought ahead. He quickly drove the car under a bridge and tore off the red vinyl wrap from the vehicle. They successfully evaded the drone's search. Soon, they arrived at the gang's his base. After learning that Jack possessed powerful superpowers, the leader decided to have Jack participate in the next operation Mark told Jack about it. And when Jack learned the next mission paid $1 million, he agreed without hesitation. Although the job was life-threatening, he had no other choice for his sick mother's sake. To ensure the operation went flawlessly, Jack still needed training to unlock his full potential.
And keep it lit.
Hearing a knock at the door, the old man thought his daughter had returned. But when he opened it, he found an assassin instead. Fortunately, the old man reacted quickly and narrowly dodged the gunfire. Yet the killer showed no signs of stopping. The old man could only evade his attacks while searching for an opening. Meanwhile, the colleague monitoring the surveillance feed across the room remained oblivious. The footage had been replaced. Only when the girl from the surveillance footage appeared before them did they realize something was terribly wrong. It turned out the old man was an undercover cop on a deep cover mission. Though advanced in years, he skillfully dodged the assassin's lethal strikes thanks to decades of combat experience. Just then, the assassin's partner warned him police backup was approaching, forcing him to flee swiftly. By the time the old man's partner arrived, the assassin had vanished without a trace. But the matter wasn't over. The assassin was already planning his next assassination attempt.